Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about my current gastroparesis diet that I have created for myself based on the diet from gi.care or gicare.com, as well as some information just because I've, worked with dietitians and researched a lot of stuff online, and it mildly addresses the FODMAPs diet as well. But I'm going to get more into that soon because I just got a document from my dietitian that I need to go over just to see if I can kind of create an easier situation for myself. As we talk in the videos about some of my most recent conditions and situations, I'm hoping that it helps with that as well. So another resource I used was Living Well with Gastroparesis. It's a book by Crystal Zaborowski Citrelli. Um, this is an awesome book. My sister Wendy got this for me when I was first diagnosed, and I would highly recommend this because not only does it go over what gastroparesis is, what kind of treatments there are for you, the emotional aspect of it, but it also gives you some nice resources as well as recipes in the back of the book that are supposed to be good for people that are with gastroparesis or gastroparesis friendly. It's going to not work for everybody, so it's just kind of a trial and error thing. But some of the stuff from here I've adopted into my own meal situation. So the first thing that I try to do is I take into consideration that my stomach does not empty every 2 hours. So with that said, I don't try to eat every 2 hours. I try to eat every 3 hours. And I try to eat no more than this. If my stomach is really this big, allegedly, I want to eat, just this amount. So I measure that at to be close to like a cup. Sometimes you get a little bit over, but just you do what you got to do, and you kind of what I would highly recommend is for you to document how you feel after you eat everything. So normally, for me, I have the Microsoft OneNote on my phone. I also have it on my PC and my laptop, so I can just document on there my bowel movements, if I go to the bathroom, to urinate or anything like that, and how I feel throughout the day, and sometimes like how I sleep, just because you want to have that information, especially if doctors ask how you're feeling and so forth. Um, so what I also try to do is because protein is so important. Apparently, that's usually one of the things that I find really hard to get enough of. I try to eat 3 chicken meals a day, and I space that in between non-chicken meals as well. Because I try to eat 6 meals a day if it's at all possible. So the first meal of the day is normally 2 pieces of white toast with peanut butter on them and banana, which is obviously delicious. And then a quarter cup of coconut water, and then I have one of my Smarty Pants gummy vitamins and a calcium magnesium uh, vitamin, just to get those extra nutrients because I use the MyFitnessPal app on my phone, which I've also done a video about that. And I can enter all the food that I eat and the supplements that I take, and it'll also tell me the nutrients that I'm not getting enough of or the ones I'm getting too much of. And you just need to pay attention to that. I think it's really important. I think you'll see a difference in how you feel if you're able to eat and so forth. So then my second meal is normally something that has a meat in it. So like for instance today, it was blended up chicken breast with a tablespoon of flaxseed, ground ground flaxseed, and a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And I stir that up and I put that on the bread. I put on 2 slices of white bread, and then that's a meal right there. And then like my third meal is what is from this book that I've adopted. It's pumpkin cream of rice. So I get canned pumpkin and cream of rice. And like I said before in the other video, I use a quarter cup of regular milk, quarter cup of almond milk, peanut butter. I throw banana and flaxseed in there. Um, so it becomes delicious, and that's a meal right there. And then another meal I'll have is ground up chicken again. Oh, and with each of these, do vitamin supplements twice a day as far as the Smarty Pants and the calcium magnesium. Or maybe it's potassium magnesium or something like that. Um, you can always ask me and I'll figure it out for you and tell you. But all the other meals, I normally take a potassium gluconate supplement because apparently you need lots of potassium. Um, and you don't get enough of that from the diet that I have. So I do another meal that is blended up chicken, canned sweet potato, olive oil, almond milk, and then some white pasta. Yeah, and that's that. And that was also something that I derived. And then there's another meal that I'll have that'll be the ground up chicken with the blended, or it's blended in a blender. And that's blended up with spinach and potatoes and carrots and diced extra virgin olive oil because that's in there too. And that's delicious as well. And then, yeah, so those are all my meals. That's what I eat, and that's what I seem to do okay with. Um, so that would be something to try out if you think that you might have gastroparesis, but you haven't been diagnosed yet. You can try eating like that and see if that helps at all. Um, because then that's something that you take to your doctor and say, "Hey, I tried this out. It seems to be helping, or I seem to feel better. So maybe this is a situation." And then from there is when they will start testing you for gastroparesis, which, for me, it was I got an endoscopy, um, and then they go from there to getting you the a gastric emptying study. Now, I don't I didn't really have a problem. I was just suffering a lot at the time, so it was difficult to say if they were evasive procedures or anything like that. I think I was okay. Um, there was like an anxiety thing that I have to this very day that builds up that makes it a little bit more difficult to do things. And I was definitely in a lot more pain then. So going into those situations were tough. Um, but yeah, I know the gastric emptying study was really tough because I have a difficult time fasting. So whenever you have a situation where they want you to fast for anything, just be forewarned and just be very open and always talk to your medical professionals or whoever it is that you're scheduling appointments with that this situation is the situation that you have and this is how you feel, and you just have to be very leery and aware of those things. So for instance, I would always tell them like for some reason I get very heated when I don't get to eat enough or when I don't get to eat food or when I don't get water or when I'm in like different temperature places. Like I was very open with them, and so hopefully they take into consideration when trying to schedule me for these things. And definitely always question so that you can make sure that you're taking care of yourself like they should be taking care of you too. So that would normally get you to the point where you have a gastroparesis diagnosis. Once you get through all that, either you're going to have it or you're not going to have it. So in my next video, I'll talk about once you get the diagnosis.